Hello, fiber friends. Welcome to Vlogmas. It's day 3. I have a story, a blessing, some spinning, all kinds of things going on today. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to give you the blessing, but I'm going to explain the inspiration for it first. If you live in the Midwest, you just got a storm. I am in northern Illinois. We got a lot of snow, like a lot of snow. Like when I opened the door to let the dog out, the snow just kind of crumbled into the house. I think we had 8 inches or something like that. It was a lot of snow. And then this morning, I had to drive my kid to school because the path that they take, the sidewalks even, like it's not all shoveled out yet. And yes, this is Wednesday and the storm happened last weekend, but still, it's the Midwest. It was Thanksgiving. We're tired. I mean, some people out there, you know that they got a snowblower last Christmas because they're out there with their snowblower and they're very proud and they're very excited and they just start like going down the sidewalk and they do their neighbors' houses, but then they get tired and they stop and then it's just a wall of snow. If you live in the Midwest in any kind of like, you know, suburban situation, you get it. You get it. But beyond the patches of unshoveled snow, beyond that, it was really cold this morning, and so I'd give them a ride anyway. It's not too far to walk, but if it's really cold, it's not comfortable to walk. And then if you're traipsing through snow, it's whatever. Anyway, I'm a nice mom. I drove my kid to school. So I said, hey, go start the car so it can warm up. They're in high school. They're the appropriate age to start the car. It's not like I'm sending an 8-year-old out there. Anyway, so I, was taking care of the dog and getting my, contacts in and whatever. And so I'm like ready. I'm bundled up. I've got my fingerless mitts and my hat. These are things I knit myself, of course. And I open the door. And my kid's standing next to my car. There's still snow all over my car. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I can see they've got the key dangling from around their wrist. And they're like, the door's frozen shut. I was like, is the car still locked? Well, the door wasn't frozen shut. Maybe it was on the side, the driver or the passenger side where they tried to get in, but the driver's side was fine. But then I tried to start the car and it goes, rah, 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 rah. I was like, oh no. Rah, 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 rah. And there was that moment where it almost sounded like it was going to turn over. I was like, well, the starter's working. I bet the battery's dead, plus with all the cold we've had and everything. So yeah, the battery's dead. And so I came back inside to get the other keys so I could take Mark's car because he hadn't left for work yet. And I went back out there and I looked at my kid and I was like, why are you wearing a jacket? How cold was it this morning? It was really cold this morning. Like you might even hear the furnace turning on right now. Although my editing software is pretty good at clearing out the random noises in the background. Let's see. So currently it's 17 degrees and I can't really get what it was before. It's not telling me what this morning was. I'll have to go, like the app is always like right now and into the future. So, but it does say it is 17 degrees currently. So I'm sure coming right out of the sun being down all night, obviously it's going to be cooler, right? So I was like, why are you wearing a jacket? Where are your gloves? Where is your hat? And they were like, my backpack. I was like, hon, go dress appropriately. Go dress appropriately. And so if any of you are parents, grandparents, aunties, uncles, whatever, tell me if you have a thing with the teenagers in your life not dressing appropriately for the weather. 'Cause I grew up in Minnesota. I was born in Minnesota, which Mark says is really obvious whenever I say Minnesota, 'cause I ooh the O, I guess. I don't hear it, but apparently. And then I lived in Wisconsin for a while, which also apparently you can hear Wisconsin when I say Wisconsin, 'cause I do a at on the A. I also don't hear that, but everyone around here probably says that. Anyway, the point. I can focus. Let me have some more coffee. Caffeine helps me focus. Yeah, teenagers not dressing appropriately. I grew up in Wisconsin and Minnesota, little towns, like tiny towns, lots of farmers. And at that time, it was before, it was pre-cell phone. And like it was very common, not everyone, but a lot of people had like digits missing. Like they'd be missing like the top of their pinky or, probably toes, but generally people don't go around with their toes out. And it's because people would get like their car, they'd go off the road or something would break and it would be frigidly cold out. And if you don't have a CB radio at that time, you just have to wait for a good Samaritan to drive by and stop to help you. Otherwise, you're just out in the cold. I grew up with that being part of the general culture. When it starts to get cold outside, whether there's snow or not, you have an emergency kit in the car, and it includes like blankets and candles. And when you go out and about, even if you're just going to the grocery store, when I was growing up, it was like the thing. You had to see what it was like outside, and if you can't comfortably stand outside for 30 minutes in what you're currently wearing, you're not dressed appropriately, go put on, more layers or whatever. That was like a regular thing. And I think that we are in a dangerous place because people are so used to cell phones. And if you live in a very populated area, you're used to constantly having people drive by. But that certainly doesn't mean that someone's going to stop for you or they're going to let you sit in their car to warm up. And even if you're going to be inside of a store, by the time you've made your phone calls, called your spouse or whatever partner, you know what I mean? Like called an Uber or a tow truck, whatever you're doing, like still it might be 15 to 20 minutes before you're in a place where you can walk away from your vehicle to go warm up. And I just feel like that's dangerous to not be out in appropriate clothing. But I think we're too used to the comfort of air conditioning and running our homes hotter to like be comfortable in t-shirts rather than running it cooler and wearing sweaters. And I know that's probably a very American thing. Like I think that's an American thing. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Let me know if you're in Canada or Europe or somewhere else. Yeah, let me know about that because I'm curious. But anyway, dress appropriately. What's our blessing? After all these rambles, our blessing is, may the fibers you spin carry warmth into the cool days ahead. We are doing 2 Advent boxes today. Both of these were sent to me by the companies, and we're just having fun opening one every day from Twice Sheared Sheep because this one has 25 days in it. And then we'll do the other one in a second. So let's do Twice Sheared Sheep first. And I see number 3 right over here. These boxes are so, like each one is unique and different. They're tins. I love the Twice Sheared Sheep tins. You guys, this is my favorite tin ever. Everything goes in this tin now. This is my best tin ever. Okay, I'll show it to you. Do you want to see it? I'm sure you do. Tomorrow is a new day with no mistakes in it. And Shirley. And then Miss Stacy says, well, no mistakes in it yet. And I love that. It's hopeful and it's honest. This is really cool. I like it. I like it. This is awesome. I'm going to put my current project markers in here. I'm sure there'll be you know, this is a notions advent calendar, so I'm sure there's gonna be some notions coming that I'll be able to put in there. That's very cool. All right. I would have said the bag was my favorite 5 minutes ago, but now that tin is my favorite. We are going to open Hedgehog Fibers next. Hedgehog Fibers has 12 days of spin. So I'm doing one every other day, and we are going to open day number 2. I did finish spinning day number 1, so I'll show you that in a moment. I'm going to add a little suspense here because I did finish day number 1. Actually, I'll just show you right here. Matchless is heavy. There's day number 1, and it's all spun up and lovely. It is about 2 ounces. I think it was 2 ounces. So I wasn't sure what to do. I was like, do I ply this on itself? What if there's something coming up I want to ply it with? What if I want it all to be a 3-ply? What if I want to chain ply it to keep the colors together? I don't know. So I guess I'll figure something out with day 2. At some point I'll run out of bobbins if I'm trying to do each one individually. So let's see what's in day number 2. Ta-da! Ooh. Okay. This is pretty. It has some pinks, some blues, some speckles, some greens. It's very autumny colors. Like this looks very autumny to me. Oh yeah, they have stickers on the boxes to say what the fiber blend is. So it's 75% Polworth, 12.5% camel, and 12.5% mulberry silk, which is what the other blend was. I could ply these together and it would be really lovely. Those would ply together really well. There's a smidge of pink on this one if you kind of dig down into it. And I have a pigtail right here. I'm going to show everyone I get pigtails too. They happen, especially on double drive when I'm like, spin, 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 get on the bobbin. And it's like pigtail on the way. I don't know. Because I'm thinking also I could just keep going on this bobbin and this would be a whole nother one. I might do that. I might just keep going. I think I'll do that. I'll keep going. Because what if instead of having many skeins, we have one long skein that's clearly like different, but we chain ply it, which keeps the colors together. And then we could knit with it and it would be like one skein, another skein. Or what if I wanted to blend them? But if that's the case, I could just cut it where where it switches to another one, and then I can do the, you know, the gradient where you start shifting rows. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep spinning. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll keep spinning. These are the projects I'm working on today. I'm still a little bit on a sweater kick, but I was putting stuff together to do my laundry and I pulled out a few sweaters. So I'm gonna make some things happen. First up, I have this sweater. This is hand spun, also Polworth and silk, but there's no camel in it. But I spun it so that the sleeves would match, which meant that I had to split up the braid because otherwise the stripes would be as wide as they are on the body, but they're not. They match the body because I did the quantity to do the circumference of the sleeve to match the width of the stripe on the body. There was a question when I did this project of whether or not I was going to adjust the sleeves, because the sleeves are all the same up until we get to here, and this one didn't get to the gold part just yet. I left them. I left them because it's human, and I like having that be just a little different. And I've also realized that I'm relying on the arms, so I know which direction to put it on. And this is the pattern is flax from Tin Can Knits. And I like it. It's simple, but it has this like garter stripe going down the sleeves, which made the sleeves a little more interesting. And I didn't have a sleeve island issue with this one. Plus I was excited to see if the stripes would come out. But it's one of those that has very same front and back, and I can't always tell, is this the front? Is this the back? I don't know. And so I usually put the yellow stripe on my right hand, and that's how I can tell. But I have these little tags that say, this is the back, and it has a sheep butt, and I think they're cute. So I'm gonna pull out some of those and put a little tag on it. I am proud of myself though, because I did weave in the ends. I wear this sweater all the time. I love this sweater. One of my go-to knits, but having a little tag on there I think will be fun. So the next one is this one. This was a Yarnspirations pattern, and I did all this bead work, and it's really pretty, but I tried it on recently and I realized that the way it's fitting me now, because my body has changed shape, there's a little more fabric down like at the waist to hip area, and I feel like it's a little too long. So I am going to unravel it, and I'm gonna bring it up a bit and then cast it off again. So I think I did like, I think possibly it was an Estonian lace bind off. It's a nice stretchy bind off, but it has a really, like it doesn't flare. You know what I mean? It almost looks like a, let me get the light so it shows up better. There we go. So it almost looks like a cabled cast off from the front, but it's not, because if you look at the back, that's not the back of a cabled bind off, cast off. So I don't remember, but I think it was an Estonian lace cast off. It's stretchy, but like perfectly stretchy. It doesn't go out of shape and it doesn't flare. Oh, now I'm really bright. It got the light on my face, like, wee. So whatever bind off this was, it's great and I love it, and I want to use it on my other sweaters. So I'll try to reconstruct it when I pick this apart. I think it might be one where you do it with like a darning needle instead of 2 knitting needles, possibly, but I can't remember. So I'll figure that out. What else is next? This one is called the Payday Sweater, and it has this pretty little lace detail at the bottom, and also this pretty little lace detail matches on the sleeves. This is Kellyburn Woolens. I love the color. I love the sweater. It's a great sweater. Whatever happened when I put the, I don't know what happened, but the collar on the back tends to curl backwards. So I'm just gonna steam it and press it again to make sure that it stays flat. And I'm also gonna put, this is the back tag on this one as well. This one does have short rows, so I can hold it up and be like, oh yeah, there's the back. But I think the labels are cute, so I'm gonna do that on that one. And then I have 2 more. These are way more recent, so you might recognize them. I have the Night Owl sweater, and I love it. I've been wearing it, but I have one last little tail to weave in. I did weave in all the rest. Everything on the inside is woven in. I'll even show you to prove it. But I saved that tail because I'm also going to put a "this is the back" tag on this one. This one also has short rows, and I've noticed when I put it on, sometimes I'm like, oh, it's on backwards, and sometimes I'm like, oh, it's on correctly. So it's not that high up, but it feels like it's that high up. So I'm going to put a "this is the back" tag on this one as well. And then I used the leftover yarn from the owls that I held double with a baby alpaca, a strand of baby alpaca, and I made Wisp from Caitlin Hunter. I thought I didn't like the length at first, but I've decided I do like the length. It's not something I would wear with jeans, but it's definitely something I would wear over a dress. And I think it's like the right style is for it to be worn over a dress. So that's what I'm going to do with it. I need to block it because it's, you know, it's curling on the edges because it is stockinette. So like on the sleeves, it's curling under, which is fine. Like I know it's going to curl under. That's a choice and it's fine. But if I steam it and block it out, it'll also lay a little flatter. And I think I'll like that better. I also think I will like it to be blocked. Like I think it's gonna fit me exactly perfectly when it's blocked. And I'm not very used to creating fitted clothes for myself. And so this is kind of a big deal for me and I'm excited about it. But the front and the back are the same. So this one's also getting a this is the back tag, and I wasn't sure. Oh, I did I did weave some of these in, they just need to be clipped, but I wasn't sure if I was going to unravel the ribbing at the bottom and go a little longer with the stockinette. I'm not going to do that now. I've made my decision, which means that I need to weave in the tail at the end. So those are all just like little things that I'm gonna finish tonight while I'm sitting watching TV with one of my kids. We've been rewatching The Expanse, which is heavy. Sometimes I get existential dread. Like when they're out, it's science fiction if you don't know. When they're out of their ships and like they're just in a suit in space, I'm like butterflies in the tummy. So anyway, if you're into like darker dystopian, a little existential crisis kind of first contact sci-fi, it's a good one. If you are into that stuff though, you probably already know about it. Yeah, but anyway, we're having fun. So I'm gonna work on these sweaters when we're hanging out and watching TV. Get the tags on there, shorten the one, finish weaving in the ends, and I'm gonna feel very accomplished because that is my mending pile from my wardrobe stuff. And that's exciting to me to get that finished. Yes. And then a couple of them will be out blocking overnight. So maybe I'll show you tomorrow. All right, friends, I am gonna go, maybe I'll also get this one done. I'm not sure, no promises, but we'll see. And yeah, I wasn't thinking I'd even have the first one done by now. So either there's more hours in the day than I thought, I'm a efficient spinner, or I stayed up too late last night. I'll let you decide which one is true. All right, friends, I will wish you happy Vlogmas. Stay warm if you're somewhere that's cold. Stitch that warmth into your makes, whatever that happens to be. Spun, knit, crocheted, null bound, null binding, null bound. That sounds right. Huh. Happy Vlogmas!